Hey guys, so yesterday the Circassian community remembered May 21st, 1864. This is the day that we commemorate the Circassian Genocide. But I think there's a broader lesson here. Just a little bit of background. So the Circassian community fought Russia for 100 years, we lost, and then there was this mass exodus. By the end of the war, the Russians were really fed up with the lack of progress, and they implemented something equivalent to a scorched earth policy regarding the Circassians. And so when we lost, we knew that was pretty much it. And so the community fled en masse to Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and there was so much suffering, not just because of the war, but because of the exodus, disease, starvation, and then the trauma of trying to reestablish themselves in new lands. Again, disease, starvation, etc. So it was a really horrific event, and I don't really want to go into all the details. I'm not a big fan of living in the past. I'm not a big fan of making these historic pains a part of who we are and reliving that. But I'm a big fan of learning from history. And I think if anybody's curious, they should really look into it. Google it. There's a lot we can learn from the situation and hopefully benefit from it. What I wanted to concentrate on was something, a more universal message, which is every society has something like this. Whether your community actually experienced a genocide, like what happened to the Jews in Europe, or the Armenians, or the Circassians, or what happened to the slaves who came to America, or the American Indians, or even something more recent like 9/11 for the American community. We come together and we remember these events. There's this coming together, there's this joining, there's this kind of mutual mourning. And that's a nice thing, that it brings us together, we mourn, but then we leave and we go back to our lives. And sometimes there's even an element of blame. Oh, this group did this to us. And there's this plea for help, that you, as the group that wronged us, need to right the situation. That's the fundamental kind of problem in our thinking that I want to address today, because we are giving somebody else power over our happiness, over the joy we feel in life. And I think that's a big problem. I see an opportunity for us to take power, to take our own future into our hands, to turn pain into joy. And how do we do this? Instead of relying on somebody else to fix this historic wrong, we need to ask ourselves, how can we make it better? How can we make this wrong right? If there's anything that entrepreneurship taught me, it's that nobody cares about your business. Nobody cares about what you're doing. Whether it's your employees, your customers, nobody cares more than you. And the same thing for these historic wrongs. Nobody cares more than you. And so kind of the onus, the responsibility falls on us as the victims to make this right. And it seems wrong, it seems unjust, unfair, but if we want to see the situation get better, only the people who feel the pain the most are going to want to see it change. And so when we commemorate these things, I'm a really big fan of finding ways to make it better. Us as individuals, okay, we're commemorating an event, the Circassian Genocide. Okay, so over the next year, is there something I can launch? Some initiative, some program? I have friends who started a Circassian language program, others who volunteer at our Circassian Community Center and teach kids on the weekends. These are great ways to be a force for good in the community, keeping the culture alive, keeping the community together, providing a space for people to come together and celebrate and move forward. Sometimes projects are too big for one person, right? And so how can we work together with others and create an even bit larger project? If we don't have time for that, how can we support initiatives that are already out there, whether volunteering a certain number of hours a week or donating a certain amount of money? How can we support those initiatives? So there's really something for everyone. I just want to emphasize this idea that, we can take that power back. I'm a really big fan of taking wrongs and making them right, of taking powerlessness and turning that into empowerment, of taking our pain and turning that into joy and happiness. We have the power to change that reality. And so let's take these days, these moments of sadness and grief, and turn them into something incredible and beautiful. That's just a little reflection I had because of the Circassian Genocide and the commemoration that's going on. I hope something here helps you in your life, and please share your thoughts and how you have taken a tragedy, a pain, whether it's a historic group tragedy or maybe something more personal and individual, and how you've turned that into a way to empower yourself and your community. Thanks for listening. All right, bye. My name's Shanti, former MD and entrepreneur, trying to understand our big dysfunctional human family. If something here was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Bye.